Here we are after my first turn. I'm not going to make a video every turn, but I've sort of decided on what strategy I'm going to try. I'm no great tactician from the age of sail, so this might be really bad ideas, but this is what I'm going to go with, and we'll see what happens. Of course, all plans do not survive contact with the enemy, so we'll see what happens here. We've got the British here under full sail because they're beaten against the wind, trying to close the range as possible to give the Alliance forces here less chance to collaborate on what they're going to be doing. So they're going to try very, Nelson at front, very what he did at Trafalgar. We're going to try and break the line in the middle, or possibly, if it looks a bit strong, because I'll tell you what these guys did at the moment, is they can come down the side here, okay? And again, cut off, if they can, as much as his force as possible. Now, because the British are beaten against the wind, it's quite hard to get there quick enough to take these guys by surprise and maybe, cut the bottom third off and concentrate on those. But anyway, so what the French and Spanish are trying is they want to use their superior firepower. So they are going to try and form three lines here. So if the British want to come through the middle, they're going to have to face rapid fire. So these guys are here, took full sail just for a turn. And I think, these can only move three at once. Well, of course, we might have a wind change. That would change everything very quickly. But I'm sort of adjusting. By the time these get close, we can have the free range, free lines here. So we're going to see how that goes. I'm going to be playing with the divisional break rules from Mark Barker from the scenario pack that this is coming from. So basically it just means that each of these squadrons, divisions I guess we call them, divisions act separately, okay, in terms of break. Now this is quite interesting because it gives the British some options of, you could concentrate on the Spanish here and see whether we could get them off the board quickly, but it comes with a certain amount of peril as well because of the large number of French and Spanish ships. When these take a break test, the divisional break test, it's more than likely there's going to be 2 times as many damaged ships in the British than there. Although I do believe from the rules that you only check within a 10 hex radius, but I'll concentrate more on that when I get to that bit. I also had a question from Patrick on YouTube about the play aids I'm using, so I'll quickly go over those. Most of these I've got from Board Game Geek. There's some fantastic resources out there. So I particularly like using these guys here. Let's pick up the Spanish one. So these are sort of firepower cards that have the carronade sort of built in to the results. So if we look at this fantastic chart, also from Board Game Geek, from Steve. Sorry, Steve, I can't remember your second name. But he's produced some fantastic resources. Definitely go and check out there. So when we do a firepower, we've got like a fourth relative rate, range. This is shaded, so that will affect it back here. We've got the carronade to add and subtract. This puts it all together. So you just look, third rate, if it's a white, there we go. It's got the carronades built in, and just fewer modifiers to add. So it just, there's nothing difficult about this game at all. There's no difficult mathematics or anything at all. I'm just not an accountant, I have to sort them out. So except just help. It just, it's that overload of sort of very simple sort of maths that you have to keep doing every turn. So I just find it saves a bit of time. And these are double-sided, so that's the pre-1787, and this is the one I'll be using today, 1781 and after again. The carronades, so what changed there. So I do use, and again Steve, I do apologise if you're watching this video, but I do use Steve's charts. They're just colourful, they've got the information on. Excellent. Okay, I still do use the standard hit result charts, and of course I've printed off the latest version of these, and I do find just having a little counter here just helps me. So when it's an 8, I just stick it on 8, just reminds me while I work other things out. The turn record is something I made myself, just a very quick, easy thing I put together. I'm sort of experimenting with these status cards. I've got no problem with using paper. I do find the counters, and I know this is a personal thing, some people don't mind the counter clutter at all. There's lots of fantastic other versions of using sort of cards and things. You can use the paper version. This was definitely inspired by quite a few of the styles I saw on Board Game Geek. So this just allows me, I mean, I still use, you know, the counters here, quite a few counters on the ships, but for sailing, initial broadsides, because I use, you know, if this fires its initial broadside, I will put the counter on there. And I have my own little sort of counters I've made for firing that I tend to put on the ships to show which side they fired. And when it gets a bit cluttered, I just put these on here instead. So there we are. Just put them on there instead, just to show. So I sort of vary that a little bit. Don't know. I mean, I like, you know, got the audacity on it. Yeah, they might be okay. I don't know. I'm going to try it. I mean, you can see I've done them for each of the divisions, which is quite nice if you're using the division optional rule as well. If they get a little bit jumbled up, you don't have to keep looking for them. Other things I've used, other things that I'm using that I enjoy very much is this, oh, have I hidden it? There we go, it's underneath here. Is this, and this is from C3i. I don't think his second name's on Board Game Geek. Again, it's for Board Game Geek, which just shows you the costs. And all I've done is I took his original one and I've just mounted it on a regular hexagon, just so it, I don't know, I just find it, in my head it works better. It sort of matches the grid here. And these are quite nice. You know, again, there's nothing particularly complicated about this game with the movement, but I do forget sometimes the costs for full sail turning, the increases, and it tells you how much it costs to turn. And I just find that really a nice little aid memoir sort of thing. I mean, the only other thing I've got here that I'm using is just a sequence of play, and this is from Frederick, isn't it? Frederick, who made these here. They come in that pack, and you've got these for all the different nationalities. And all I need this for is I forget sometimes the order at the end here, the drifting, the striking, the sinking. I don't know how important it is you do that in the correct order, but you know, that's what the rules say. That's what I like. And of course I've got my counters already here to go, dice, and that's it. So the next video I'm going to make is when the first shot has been taken, which I assume will be probably these guys shooting at the rigging of the British, try and slow them down. Yeah, it'd be good to try and slow some of these guys down so their line gets a little bit more difficult for them to manage. But there we go, turn one done.